Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you a Photoshop classic. You're going to be creating a 3-animal mashup. The first thing that you'll want to do is start with an 8x10 canvas. Then once you've got that going, go over to Google, try to find some animals, create a little folder. I'm also going to be downloading a background which I'll be using at the very tail end to kind of create some context or a landscape that this animal is going to be seated in. So we'll start with the flamingo here. I'm going to remove the body. I'm going to be using the marquee tool. Just go over the top, Control X, there we go. Next I'm going to bring in the kangaroo. And for the kangaroo, I'm going to be removing the legs. So I'll be using the lasso tool and I'll try to get as close as I can. And then we're going to be going over the top of the haunches with the healing tool. So Control X. Over here, we got the Band-Aid and the healing tool. I'm going to go over the top. It's going to blend the fur. Let's give it a second. There we go. And just kind of clean it up. Looks pretty good. Next, go over to the flamingo layer. Now, as you can see, the flamingo legs are facing the wrong way. So I'm going to go Control T. I'm going to do a right click. And if you hit flip over vertical, it's going to switch the orientation of those legs. And I can then resize them with Control T, make them a little bit larger and position them so they work. Next, click the sloth layer. I'm going to grab the lasso tool. I'm going to cut around and I'm going to try to create an edge to the beard that's a little bit jagged so that it works, so that it fits. And once we go, there we go. I'm going to capture the shoulders, Control X. Next up, I'm going to place the head over here and resize it. As you can see, I've got the ears popping through the back, so I want to make sure to get rid of those. I'm going to go to the kangaroo layer. I'm going to zoom in, and I'll use the lasso tool. I'll even make the sloth head just a little bit smaller. Let's see what we can do, just so it fits like that. So I need to go back in, and I need to cut a little bit more of the ears out. So again, I'm going to use the lasso tool, X. I'm going to also cut this portion of the nose that's poking through the bottom, Control X, and I'm going to be using the smudge tool. So over here in the tool console, there's an icon with a finger. That's the smudge tool. By default, it's going to be blur tool, so it's going to look like a teardrop. If you do a right click, go down to smudge tool, make it happen. Next, I'm going to just simply drag the pixels up, maybe widen them a little bit so it tapers out, maybe it looks a little more realistic. Next thing I need to do is I need to change the coloration on the sloth face. So again, Control U brings up the color window. I'm going to try to make this a little bit more orangey so it works with color of the kangaroo. So maybe something like that. As you can see, the contrast in the beard is really high. So maybe I want to go in and add a little bit more contrast to the body of the kangaroo. So I'll select that layer. You're going to do that using Control L. And I'll be just, let me get this window out of the way. I'm going to be sliding. And maybe I'll bring down the saturation. So Control U. See, it's too vivid. See if we can bring that down maybe. So I'm going to zoom out here. I need to combine these together. I'm going to group them. So you select the top one, hold the Shift key, select the bottom layer there. And then at the bottom of the layers palette, there's a little chain link. It's going to group them. Okay, so look for the chain link. You'll see it appear over here on the right side of the layers. And that means that I can move this as one unit. I'm going to do Control T, maybe make this just a little bit smaller. And then I'll bring in my backgrounds. There you go. The hybrid composite animal mashup. I'm going to make him walking through the water here in this jungle forest. Thanks you guys for joining me.